What's up, y'all? Will here at Schedule Fly. Man, this episode was so much fun. This is Eddie Mahoney. He's in Chicago, and he's involved with multiple concepts. He and his partners own several sugar factory locations. They have several restaurants, including Bijan, which is opening in 3 or 4 weeks, right? So he's got this restaurant opening. He's wearing multiple hats right now, having to take on some additional responsibilities to help out a partner at one of his partners. And this dude doesn't even have Wi-Fi over there where they're opening this new restaurant. So he went over to the hotel across the street and went into the hotel lobby to do this podcast. And that is exactly what great hospitality is all about. That's when you know you're hardwired for this stuff, because he could have so easily said, man, I've got my hands full. Like, I'm trying to open a restaurant. I don't have time for this right now. Let's do this later this summer when everything settles down. I don't even have Wi-Fi, at the restaurant, but he didn't do that. And I just appreciate that sentiment and that mentality so much. And I think that's a great example of what great hospitality is all about. It's putting yourself aside and trying to help other people out. I really appreciated that. I mean, truly. So this is Eddie's a great dude, great, vibrant, magnetic personality, hustles, got a lot of grit, got a lot of passion for what he does. Like so many people that we interview on this podcast. The first question I always ask is, how did you get started in hospitality? And I can't tell you how many times people say I was 13 years old washing dishes. And that's Eddie's story. So from there till today, dial into this episode and listen to his story. But before you do, let's listen to a word from our Schedule Fly partner and our sponsor for this podcast, Pop Menu. And by the way, on this episode, Eddie and I talk about Pop Menu, so check that out, because we talk about it for like 5 to 10 minutes, because he mentioned that he uses Pop Menu, and I asked him why, and so we had this great conversation about it. So check out this quick word from them, and then check out this episode and hear somebody that uses it talk about why they love it. Okay, so Pop Menu is all about making your day easier and your sales bigger. They will simplify your marketing operations, bring in more guests, and capture customer data for personalized remarketing to keep them coming back. With one super simple to use platform that integrates with most point of sales like Toast and Square and a number of others, Pop Menu starts with a beautifully designed, easy to update, interactive menu that transforms the guest experience online. It includes a brand new website that's optimized for search engines like Google for no additional cost, automated digital marketing, online ordering and waitlisting, and you'll never miss another call with their AI answering solution that costs as little as 47 cents an hour, plus so much more. Link to Pop Menu in the show notes. Listen to Eddie talk about it. I've talked to a lot of mutual customers that we share with Pop Menu and Schedule Fly, and they've said great product, great company, great customer service, great results. Check them out and check out this episode. Eddie Mahoney, up in Chicago. Lots of different concepts. Great dude. More episodes coming soon. See ya. How you doing, my friend?
I'm good. I'm trying to figure out how to get this earbud to work.
Are you're not hearing me through it?
No, I can't hear you through it, but yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. Can you hear me fine?
I can hear you great, man. I can hear you great.
It's in a hotel lobby, so I don't want to. No internet across the street yet.
Oh, dude, you are so kind to figure out a way to make this work like that, man. I appreciate that. You didn't have to go through
It's all good. It usually, it just all came together. So my partner at Bijan, the new place, he just had his baby today. So like he's GCing the project. So like I've been kind of taking over his GC, which I have no experience in, to help him out, because he's gonna be gone, today, tomorrow, through the weekend. So I'm just like, that's why yesterday I had to go and get deliveries. And then I was just like, today I've got a cleaning crew over there, because tomorrow morning we're getting doors installed and we're getting the speakers installed. And Saturday they're wrapping up a bunch of little tight end things or whatever. And then our millwork comes next Tuesday. So
dude, Eddie, man, what
what do you want to just wait and do this in a couple weeks when you got like,
It's perfect.
are you sure?
Yeah, I need a break, so this will be good. So I got,
All good, man.
I don't have to be back over there till 4. I told him I'd be gone for an hour. So
I'll tell you, man, you restaurant people never cease to amaze me. You're incredible. Well, thank you for doing this, Eddie. Actually, just take a moment, and introduce yourself.
sure. My name is Eddie Mahoney. I am operating partner with the Rizzo family. We've got 4 sugar factories, one in Rosemont, one in Chicago, one in Detroit, one in Indianapolis. Got a sports bar called Rizzo's across the street from Wrigley in Chicago. And we are working on a project called Bijan right now, which is about a 1,800 square feet of usable dining bar space that was kind of like an iconic place in Chicago that closed down during COVID. So we bought it from the old owner, and we're just trying to revamp it, put our little twist on it, and get it back to its heyday. So I've been in the restaurant business since I remember. First job was washing dishes at a place called Kilroy's in Lansing, Illinois, where I grew up. My mom knew the owner. I wanted a pair of Jordans. My mom said, "Here, I've got $20 to spend on shoes. So if you want shoes that are more than that, I'd get a job." So I was 13 years old. I was washing dishes for probably $6 an hour. But I got those shoes. So,
Dude, it's amazing. I literally recorded a podcast episode earlier today with 2 guys that just wrote a book called Hospitality DNA. And I mean, it's amazing. I'm not just 3 hours ago, we were just saying how so many people that are successful in this business, that are good at what they do, that own and run great establishments. Because I said, like, every single time I do an episode, I always say, how did you get started? I bet like 90% of the people say, I mean, we were literally joking. I was like, before they were saying, yeah, like a lot of people, they started early. I'm like, yeah, 13 years old washing dishes. And they start like, boom, there it is again. Like, that's amazing, man. And it was always for some need like that, like just needed money, or, wanted to, buy something and folks didn't have the cash for it or whatever. So, but there you were, 13, wanting some Jordans. You were able to do that, but some kind of a fire was lit, clearly. So what happened, man? Like, what was it about it that, and when did you know that this was something you really wanted to do more?
well, I really, to be honest, didn't know what I wanted to do. I mean, obviously, as a kid, I wanted to go to Notre Dame,
Yeah.
play college football, and then go play for the Bears. But obviously, when my speed and my growth was stunted, I realized that wasn't reality. We had to pivot. So I played sports all throughout high school, and I got lucky because one of my best friends' dad was a partner at a steakhouse. So
Okay.
whenever we kind of were able to go work as dishwash, bus, eventually server, eventually bartender, eventually whatever, throughout high school and college. So I mean, it's good money. It's flexible. It's you don't. I don't want to say you don't need a high skill set, because that's not true. I think as long as you have a work ethic and common sense, you're 95% of the way there. So, my mom always, we grew up kind of poor. My mom was a single mom of 3 kids, but we were always the people that we always had the parties. My mom always was entertaining. In hindsight, that I'm 42 years old and, talk to my mom a little more, she had a strategic reason for us to, always be at the house, because she could watch us without having to watch us, quote unquote. So she knew what she was doing. She was no dummy. So, I mean, just that, and seeing how happy she made people, just for having people over. And I mean, and I'm not talking about lavish parties. I'm talking about frozen pizzas.
Yep.
As we got older, cheap beer. So, I mean, like, as kids, frozen pizzas and, homemade games for 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old parties. So, you go back and look at the VHS tapes of our kids' birthday parties, and I was having a blast, and it was minimal. It was a minimal thing. It's not really. I just seeing that, and just seeing how happy you can make people with just throwing a good little event, and just even a get together. So seeing that, and then I didn't know, I'm not really one to sit in an office. I'm not one to be sit in a cubicle, or I need change. I need day-to-day variables, So, and this business has it, that's for sure.
Gosh, it does.
So,
You're in the middle of it right now. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, exactly. I went to high school, graduated high school at TF South in Lansing, Illinois, and then I went to Eastern Illinois University, went to college. I didn't even know if I wanted to go to college. I didn't know what I was going to do in college. I went to college because all my friends went to college, and I really didn't have any direction as to what I wanted to do. I was going to play football at this other school. I was going to play, I didn't know what I was going to do. So then I just went to Eastern Illinois University, where four of my best friends went as well. So we kind of all just stuck together. And then I got there and I walked on, played football for about 2 weeks. And then I realized that it wasn't for me, because I wanted to go. All my friends were out having fun, partying and enjoying college. And I knew I wasn't going pro. So I'm like, all right, well, it's a full-time job in college. So I'm like, all right, so switch that up. And once again, I waited tables, bartended throughout college. We come home on the weekends, make $500 working at a steakhouse Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then drive back to Charleston, Illinois. And $500 back in 1999, 2000. Our rent was $250. You go to, I think Wednesday night was 25-cent honey brow. So you're there.
Yeah.
You find your deals, ladies' night Thursdays, where it's dollar this, whatever. But we made it work somehow. So, but once again, I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I was in school for 5 years, didn't graduate college, but you know what? I threw some great parties. I loved entertaining. I was the social chair of my fraternity. Rushing, I was the rush chair of my fraternity as well, just to where, we played intramural sports. I loved entertaining. So it goes back to that, and got out of college. Didn't want to go back for the 6th year. Couldn't afford it. He probably would have stayed there for life, but I moved down to Florida, and my uncle owned 4 or 5 car dealerships down there. And he's like, hey, come on down and be my finance guy. So I'm like, all right, perfect. I don't really have much background in it, but okay. So I get down there, and he's like, you're going to start from the bottom. You're going to sell cars. And it's in the middle of Florida. It's called Palatka, Florida, as I consider it the armpit of America, but it was the best worst move of life. I got down there and I was going from party boy college to, working whenever I wanted to go make money for the next beer run or whatever, to, okay, this is real life. So, 6 days a week from 8 in the morning to 5, 6, 7, 8 at night, pounding pavement, trying to sell cars in Florida, where, I'm down there in January. I was back by June. I was like, I can't do this. I was good at it. I made money, but I just knew it wasn't what I want to do the rest of my life. So I got back to Chicago, sold cars for a little bit there. And then I started looking for jobs downtown Chicago. So I had a friend that got me in with Lux Bar in 2005. It's part of the Gibson's group. I don't know if you know Gibson's Steakhouse in Chicago. It's an iconic steakhouse in Chicago. So that was my first start. It was one of their sister restaurants right across the street, Kitty Corner in the Gold Coast. So that was in 2005. And I took it very seriously. The three-week training to get in the door. I mean, it was the best 3 weeks. They pushed the opening back about 10 days. So we just stayed on payroll, and they just kept doing more and more training. It's the best thing that could have happened to me, for this career, because, you learn the finer dining side of things and just what it really takes to compete in a big market of Chicago. So they basically took a fine dining concept and made it a little more casual, which they're killing it still today. So I think they had their best year yet last year. Excuse me. So after that, getting to where I'm at today, I mean, just to fast forward a little, whereas I was there for 2.5 years, and I was introduced to my old business partners, and it was my first management job. They basically said, hey, come manage, and eventually we'll get you where you need to be a partner. And 3 years later, I think I was a partner with them, and we've opened up 15 places with them. And now that's where actually I was introduced to Schedule Fly at 50/50 back in 2008. So I don't think you guys had, I don't even know how many clients you had at that time.
2008,
Maybe it was 2009 even. I don't even know. Like when
less than 100, man. I mean,
yeah.
Those were the early days. We started in 07, and I don't know if we hit 100 until maybe late 2008, 2009, something like that. So, and I mean, we have about 6,000 now, but we've served, during those years, we've had over 17,000 paying customers. I mean,
Sure.
people come and go, they close, they moved, whatever. So yeah, I mean, you were one of the first, 1 or 200 of over 17,000 that we've served, man. So
I mean, it's 15 years ago. Yeah. So I mean, I left that group in 2018. It'll be 5 years, July 1st. And I partnered up with my guys now. And it was time, time for me to move and kind of take another leap of faith in my journey. And it's panned out so far. Sorry, it's a lot of people are checking out.
oh, you're good, man. I mean, I can't, like, it's good on my end.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, it's been a good move. 5 years. I can't believe, I move over in 2018, kind of just start doing what I do. And then we were going to open up a few places, had some LOIs out, and then the pandemic hit. But I mean, I got over there. They already were using Schedule Fly, which is awesome. So like everything was kind of like that I was used to. It was an easy transition, and I was more on the operations side of things, and than running the floor or doing what that. But I love your guys' product. I've used nothing but that in all of our restaurants that we have. Even Sugar Factory, we have the one in Detroit, the one in Indianapolis. It's funny because they have Tabit. I don't know if you've heard of Tabit for a POS.
I think I've heard of that. Yeah. Well, I wanted to ask you about Sugar Factory. Like, so tell me about, I mean, because I think we have a decent number of those around, but tell me about Sugar Factory.
So Sugar Factory was started maybe 12 years ago by a guy named Steve Daviducci. And he, I think I just butchered his last name, but I mess it up. Daviducci or something. But he basically ran Pure Nightclub. And I think he was partner or owner. I'm not sure exactly what his role was there. He ran Pure Nightclub when it was the hottest nightclub in the world. Basically, the guy invented bottle service. His vision's crazy. So basically what he wanted to do is take the celebrity contacts that he made. I think Kylie Jenner was one of the first contracts she signed was with Sugar Factory. So the way it's like a club restaurant for kids, like, I mean, and celebratory place, I mean, we've got all walks of life that go through the doors. 7-year-olds love it, 17-year-olds love it, 37-year-olds love it, 57-year-olds love it. It's crazy. So basically it's a pretty diverse menu that's it's a concept that's backed by celebrities, Pitbull, Bruno Mars, Kevin Hart, a lot of celebrity liquors that are out, 50 Cent. And then it's if you go on there, I think they're the most Instagrammed restaurant in the nation. If you go on Instagram and look up Sugar Factory, like you order this King Kong Sundae, that's $100. It comes out, they do a TikTok dance for it. And it's just like a big dog and pony show, So it's just a crazy concept that, I mean, it thrived during the pandemic, and we could open, people were still going there because everyone's trying to celebrate, So there's always going to be a birthday. There's always going to be an anniversary. There's always going to be an engagement, bachelorette party, whatnot. So, is it a place that you go every Tuesday if you're in the neighborhood? No, but the food's great. The drinks, the desserts are where it's at. I mean, it's easier to show you than describe it to you because it's a visual. It's the way that these items they come up with are crazy. So
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's doing well. We've got, I think, 30 now across the states. There's one in Dubai, so one in Bahamas. I think one in Thailand, but yeah, it's a growing concept, and I mean the vision behind it's pretty unique and pretty crazy. So,
and you have 3 of those?
We have 4. We've got Indianapolis, Detroit, Rosemont, which is right outside of Chicago, where O'Hare Airport is, and then we've got downtown Chicago and River North.
How did you get dialed in with that initially?
So my partner Andrew Rizzo, his brother knows Steve. And they own a portion of the parent company, and then we own the 4.
Okay.
So yeah, I inherited it once I came over with these guys, and I'm basically just going in trying to implement some systems that I use that I think can help the business run a little more smooth. R4, I can't speak for the others, but R4 run a little more smooth. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, I just looked it up. We have 7, so you're 4 and 3 others. Okay, good deal. Sounds like a good business. Are you going to?
Well,
I mean, do you plan to grow that 4 into more, or you? I mean, I want to talk about your other concepts too, but I'm just curious where that road goes.
Yeah, it's in the talks. We just took over Indy and Detroit this past year, So we're and then with the stuff we have going on local, as you know, we just got to make sure the right people are in place. If the
Yeah.
right people are in place, you can't grow. If you do, you're setting yourself up for failure. So eventually we'd love to. I think that the main goal is to get it to, maybe 50, 60, and then sell the company.
Yeah.
For the main parent company, I think that would be the goal. But yeah, I mean, they if you get them in the right spot, man, they do well. So it's pretty cool to watch the reaction on everyone's faces when these big desserts come out. And it's just so like I said, it's like when you bring a bottle to a table at a club and it's for these kids, and these kids are just like, what's going on? We've got the drinks with the dry ice, so they smoke when you pour them in. And these kids are just like, oh my gosh, this is magic. You watch these little 5-year-old kids just like it's pretty cool.
Oh man, that sounds fun. That sounds fantastic. Are you you just mentioned something, and I want to get into your other concepts, but you mentioned bringing in the right people. Hard to do, and you got to get that. You definitely got to get that right. What does that mean to you, though? What does the right people mean? Like, how do you identify who the right people are to help you run these organizations, these locations for you?
Well, if you asked me this 5 years ago versus now, it's probably a little bit of a different answer.
Yeah.
I think it's coming back around to what my answer was 5 years ago, though, which is a good thing. So, I mean, I always look first of all, you got to be able to trust somebody in this business.
Mhm.
If you can't trust them, then it's just going to go south from the get-go. So if you can trust somebody, I need somebody that knows what they're getting into. You got to know that the hours are more than you're going to be at your 9 to 5. You got to know that just because your schedule says 5 p.m. to 2 a.m., you might be here till 3 a.m., 4 a.m., depending on what goes on. So knowing somebody and managing expectations is huge. Also, you need a hard worker. So if you're not going to be a hard worker, we also need a people person. So like this is the hardest business I think to hire, because you need someone that's so well-rounded. And you know what? To be honest with you, to do what I do, teaching myself Excel was probably one of the biggest things I ever did, just to learn how to read budgets and stuff like that. If you're on this side of things, so I mean, like if and it doesn't happen overnight if you're training someone who's young, I think. But I
Yeah.
mean, having someone with the right experience also helps, but you don't want someone that's a know-it-all. So it's very hard, and it's very fine lines that I at least look at when I'm looking to hire someone. Obviously, depending on the position, if you're starting out as someone out of college who's kind of green, as you'd say, I think it's a lot easier to train them the proper way if you have a good structure training set up.
Mm.
If you don't, it can go bad real quick. So, training I think is key when it comes to this, and finding the right person. I mean, during the pandemic, we were hiring anybody that walked in the door. Whether you had a brain or half a brain or no brain, it didn't matter. We needed bodies. And you know what? And now it's finally getting to the point where we're having people that are a little more qualified.
Yeah.
I don't know what the rhyme or reason. I thought as soon as the pandemic ended, or as soon as the government stopped handing out checks, I thought that would change, but it didn't.
It took a little while. I thought it would change immediately, and it sure did.
No, free money. Yeah, so I don't know. It's definitely been a struggle these last couple of years, but it's getting back to where it was. I mean, I remember in 2008 when we opened 50/50. Um, there was the housing crisis and the market crash and all that, and that was the easiest hiring we ever had, because we had all these doctors, lawyers, teachers that couldn't get jobs because no one was hiring. So we were hiring. So we had all these people that were, very educated, well-rounded individuals coming, and they wanted to work hard and they wanted to make their money, and they were just it was awesome. And then, like once that kind of turned around, it kind of hit a little dip again. But yeah, I mean, it's finally getting better. It really is. I mean, it's always a challenge hiring, but I mean, Sugar Factory is a tough concept to hire for, because of all the bells, because all the bells and whistles, and there's so much. I mean, like if you look at the menu, it's intimidating. When you see a milkshake that's got a cheesecake on top of it with a Snickers bar and a cookie, like all on a skewer, you're like, whoa. And the glass is dipped in chocolate with sprinkles on the side of it. I mean, it's very overwhelming to learn everything, especially the management. Serving wise, it's easier to hire than hiring management and upper management at that concept. And I think it's just because of how intimidating it is. And once again, we do these TikTok dances and songs and dances when you purchase X, Y, Z. So it's just another element that's added to something where if you're someone like me who's kind of, it's not set in their ways at all, but like someone that is just like, I don't sing, I don't dance. And that's more of like a show, right? So you
Yeah.
get someone that needs to come out and be willing to do that. So it's just a little, adds another element to it. That's a little tough.
Gotcha. Well then, okay. So then your new concept here, Bijan.
Yep.
And I mean, dude, this is amazing. So you're literally across the street in a hotel.
Yep.
Because y'all don't have Wi-Fi over there yet. So you can't, so thank you so much for doing that. And you're, so where are you with that right now? What's our timing look like?
So we're looking at about 3 to 4 weeks out. It all depends on the work, because right now, we wanted to open April 1st, and then we started getting lead times back from millwork and whatnot, and it turned into May 1st, May 15th. Then it's like, okay, now it's funny because, like my partner had his baby today. So of course that got pushed up like 2 weeks. He's supposed to have like June 15th or so, 3 weeks. And then a lot of the millwork and metalwork's getting pushed up, and it was all supposed to happen this week. So that's why I'm wearing a couple different hats that I wouldn't wear. But it's good to learn, this is a side of the business that I've never seen before. I shouldn't say never seen before. It's never been as hands-on with. I know read blueprints now. If you told me that 10 years ago, I'd be like, no, I don't need blueprints. But just meeting with the contractors and stuff like that it's been definitely I love learning. So it's definitely been educational for me as well as kind of nervous, scared, anxious, all the above. Like I don't want to mess anything up so when he comes back, because Andrew's very savvy with the GCing of the project. So, but yeah, right now we're about 3 to 4 weeks out, about to start hiring, which that's another thing. You talk about opening a place. You don't want to hire too early, because now you're going to lose people if you're not open in time. Because, one of the sad things about this business is a lot of people live paycheck to paycheck or night to night when it comes to tipped employees. And that's something that, I would love to see change down the road, because it's something that I didn't learn until I was a little older than I would have liked. And once again, though, it goes back to how you grew up and, stuff like that. And in college and high school, they don't teach you how to manage your money. Everyone expects you to go in and work for the man, and then that's what you're supposed to do. And you get paid on Fridays, or you get paid every night. And I mean, not to get into all that, but that is something that I think is very sad when it comes to the restaurant business, that, there is an education on how to handle your funds and what to put aside, or, even the fact that a lot of people younger people don't understand how important insurance is. So, I think everyone thinks they're invincible as they're younger, guilty as charged. I felt the same way. And, once you learn that, it's very liberating once you, don't have debt and don't live paycheck to paycheck, and realize that you do need insurance and little things like that. But, oh yeah, I mean, 3 weeks out, we're good. We should be good to go. 3 to 4, I'll probably start training in 2 weeks. I want to give myself 2 weeks for training, at least 1 week in the kitchen for everybody. Menu's 25 items. Like I said, it's 1,800 square feet, smaller, but I've got a chef that used to work under Homar Cantu, who did a lot of like gastronomy type stuff. So he's putting a little twist on a lot of things, which has been really, really impressive so far. And yeah, I mean, it's coming along a lot. You don't realize how fast because everything's getting built off site. So all the millwork's going to come in, and within a week, it's all going to come together like a puzzle. And then next thing you know, tables arrive, we do a deep clean and keep training, and then we're opening the doors for soft opening, friends and family. So
what is a day like for you now? Like leading up 3 or 4 weeks out of I mean, is it 16-hour days, or like?
I can do a lot right now. It's a lot of what my responsibilities are. Like I'm setting up schedule fly, like I'm doing a lot of the setting up stuff. There's not much I can do on site right now, because it's still getting built out. So I'm on the phone with Open Table. I'm on the phone with you. I'm on the phone with Pop Menu for our website, and I'm on the phone with Toast, who's our POS. I'm on the phone.
You use Pop Menu?
We do. We use it at Rizzo's, and we're.
Oh, that's great. I love Pop Menu. They're a partner of ours. They're a great company.
Yep. So Pop Menu is great. So yeah, I mean, I think we were one of their first accounts in Chicago as well when they first came out, because I know this girl Katie, who works for them. So
Yeah.
we're trying to get them in the Sugar Factory. I don't know what the holdup is, but I think that would be huge for Sugar Factory.
Well, let's talk about Pop Menu, because we have a good partnership with them, and I really like them a lot. They're good people, and they have a good product, and it's good results. I know why they actually sponsor this podcast. So literally at the front end of this episode, when I post it, there's an advertisement for Pop Menu. So while we're on that topic, I do respect their company a lot. Why do you use Pop Menu? Like, from your perspective, why is it a tool that you've deployed and are clearly, loyal to?
Yeah, we sat down with one of our friends, Katie Russo, who I don't know exactly what her role is. I know she's been moving up in the company, but she's I think then she was just getting started with them, but maybe not. But she brought it to our attention. She's like, "Hey, would you want to sit down and see a demo?" And she was explaining the SEO, the clicks, and how it integrated with Toast, and if we had to change our menu. And this is back when the QR codes were there, so she's like, "We do QR codes." So she was saying all the right things, and everything that we were looking to do. The only thing that wasn't, I think the only thing we asked for that they couldn't do was two things. I think it was scheduling and reservations. And then they didn't partner. I don't know if they partnered with OpenTable, but you're able to use that widget. So but yeah, the SEO clicks, which I don't really, that's not my lane. I don't really know much about that, but that was something that drew to our attention. And then the fact that we can go in, and it was very seamless, and they've gotten better even since we've started with them, to what capabilities they do have, and also just like who they're integrating with. Like, anytime you could be kind of a one-stop shop, in my opinion, is way easy. So it was pretty seamless. They set up the website. They helped with getting our events page going, and it was very the transition from what we were doing, we were very, like, the website's so easy to change. Like, my managers could do it, like, that's huge. We used to have to call 5 people to get a picture changed. It's like, if you don't know how to do it, now it's like, okay, just go in here, you drag and drop, or you upload a file and you click this button. From what I understand, I haven't really messed with it yet. I'm gonna have to start here in a little bit, but my general manager at Rizzo's does a really good job, and my social media people, it ties with social media. So it's like you could do posts and you could do specials. It's very, very it just makes sense. If you're looking for simplicity, I'm not a computer programmer, it was pretty simple how she went over it and how quick things go. And my general manager, who's not a computer guy either, was like, "Yeah, it's very easy," and he loves it. So, and we all do. So,
Oh man, well, that's great to hear. Yeah, we have a lot of mutual customers, and they're all seem to be very happy, and ease of use and simplicity and great SEO and all the things you talked about. They've got this new AI answering. Have you guys looked into that?
oh yeah, so that's why I think it'd be really beneficial for Sugar Factory. So she brought that to our attention a year ago when it first came out, and for Rizzo's it wouldn't. It doesn't make sense, because I don't know, it just wouldn't. But for Sugar Factory, I'm not joking when I say, when we opened Detroit. Thank you. When we opened Detroit, it was answering calls, and we had 3 people answering calls. And I'm not making this up. This is during Christmas. Well, when we took over Detroit, so this is in December. So right in Christmas, kids are out of school. That's one of our busiest months is December, when kids get out of school. I'm answering calls. As I'm answering calls, we got 2 other hosts answering calls, and a lot of them are, "Hey, I booked a reservation on OpenTable. I need to add one person," or this. But then there's people like, "How do you get there? What are your hours?" All these different things that just like, why are you wasting my time with? And it's not them wasting their time, because that's what we're here for. But what I mean is, why am I wasting my time answering this? There's got to be a better solution. And there is. It's like she said, if you can, hey, I'm going to be 15 minutes late. I can name 30 things that are the top 30 things that people call for, and probably 25 of them don't need to be spoken to a human about.
Right.
Maybe me 29. I don't know, whatever the number is. But like, what's the point? If I could save money by not having a host sit there and waste her time, and I don't want to say waste her time, because that's not the right, but you know what I'm saying.
Oh, I get you. You just could better utilize her
Yes,
time.
yes.
Like, she's going to be there. Let's maximize that time and make it the most productive and not have her answering questions that could be easily done in a more efficient and automated way.
Well, it's opportunity cost, right? So if she
Yeah.
could spend her time doing other things where she's showing another customer something that we do that's different, like where they're going to book a party that way versus her saying, okay, yeah, we're open from 11 to 10 p.m. Monday through Friday, and then till, like, what's the return on investment there versus somebody walking someone through the restaurant, showing them something to where, or selling them candy. We've got candy, there's candy stores in all of our stores. So right at the front, there's, there's questions to be answered there that are on site that we need them helping guests that are on premise versus guests that are, hey, I want to make a reservation. Okay, well, it's easy. You can use Pop Menu AI to say, hey, please go to opentable.com and search Sugar Factory Detroit to make a reservation. If you want a party of 15 or more, please email blah, 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 blah. And then you'll get a response within 12 to 24 hours, versus someone being on the phone while there's people, because guests nowadays, I don't know what changed during COVID, but like people want, if they're in front of you and you don't acknowledge them or you tell them, hold on 1 second, it's a now world. Now. And that's
Yeah.
it just is. And I mean, even when I was in Detroit answering calls, I couldn't keep up. By the time I hang up, it's ringing again. And literally this went on for 5 straight hours. And we still missed calls. I still had to answer 30 voicemails the next day because we couldn't get to all of them. And this is 3 people on a Tuesday. So I
Yeah.
mean, what do you do? So like if we could eventually get Pop Menu going and get this AI, it would solve a lot of problems, and I think it would save us a lot of money, to be honest.
Well, yeah. What do you do is
And make more money.
you get you get Pop Menu AI. That sounds great. Well, what an endorsement for them. I just have had, and I've talked to Katie. She's like everybody there is just good people, and they have really good products, and they take good care of their customers. And so cool. Well, I always like when I come across somebody that uses them, I like to talk about it because I just want to do anything. We want to do anything we can to.
Yeah, I
spread the word,
feel like it's a no brainer. We use it at Rizzo. It's going great. I mean, yeah, I mean, not problem. The thing with when you're as big as Sugar Factory is, you can't just do something on your one-off stores. If it's like, there's a lot of corporate stuff you have to deal with, right? So it's got to start at the corporate level, which I'm not a part of, but I'm advocating to them about Pop Menu. Andrew, my partner, and myself were the ones that introduced them to Pop Menu because that's how much. I mean, if that's not signing off on it, I don't know what is. We're offering it and saying, hey, this is going to work. Let's get it going. It's going to save and make money because you're not going to be missing party opportunities. And it's 2023. Let's get into the new age. Not to say that we're not doing things in 2023, but there are things that we can do better. And that's just evolving with time and using technology to its advantage. So,
well, send them this episode. It'd be good for them to hear all of that in one place. That's fantastic, man.
or the thing I'm bashing them, I get fired. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean, it sounds like a great company. Yeah, tell more people they should use Schedulefly. If there's 30 of them, we got 7. We'd love to serve more.
Yeah. So I mean, with Schedulefly though, so we have Tabit as the point of sale for not the ones in Chicago and Rosemont, but for the rest of the corporate does. And there's a scheduling software on there, and it's just god awful. So in Indy, Detroit, I think Dallas, I think Las Vegas, they all use Schedulefly still, and Tabit, but Tabit's like their payroll system too. So it's speaking to how good your guys' software is versus others. I mean, yours is seamless. I mean, it's very simple. Like, once again, I keep saying simple, but like, you want to know my days like? It's a lot more easy if I could. It's a lot easier if I could do a schedule in 20 minutes versus 3 hours it takes some of these people because it's so hard to use on that. So we use Schedulefly as our scheduling software, and then we don't even use their Tabit's schedule.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you, man. That was a nice endorsement. We'll tell you. Well, what's next, man? I mean, I guess obviously what's immediately next is you got a awesome new place to open the next 3 or 4 weeks. What else is going on, in the next few years for you and your team?
Last year, we've got a couple other projects in the works right now. Last year, we were given a $250,000 grant. They're trying to beautify the city. So in Maggie Daly Park, I don't know if you're familiar, It's by the Bean.
Yeah.
Mahoney Park they're trying to do something on the south side of the city. So
Okay.
we're gonna do like a pop-up, I guess, food trucks plus experience that had kind of like bodega-ish, but had like some experience. We're gonna call it like Camp Wander and have some different things like to do for kids and families, but also eat and drink out there. But we're dealing with the city, and they're supposed to be open in this weekend, and it's just dragging. But that's something we're hoping to get open this year. Um, it's just tough when you're dealing with the city and the park district, and there's like a lot of moving pieces, and
A lot of red
trying
tape.
to get responses has been frustrating. But that we've also got another project that we are working on that is downtown Chicago as well. But that's kind of in limbo right now as well. So we've got different projects. We're trying to do something in New Orleans. I have a buddy who used to play for the Saints. Good friend of mine. He has been wanting to do something over there, and he basically he just wants to bring something back to that city. He's from Chicago, like myself, like Lansing, Linwood area, and he just wants to bring something back to that city because they gave him so much. And he's basically we tried to do it before. That was one of our letters of intents we had out before the pandemic, and luckily we didn't sign it, or we didn't get accepted because we had some things to negotiate with the landlord. But that's still in the works. But we're always we've got, between myself and my partners, there's always opportunities out there. You just got to make sure you're smart with picking the right one. You can't say yes to everything as much as, you want to, or it sounds good. You got to really do your due diligence and make sure that everything is, all the ducks are in a row, and that it's going to be a profitable venture, I guess. What's new for Schedule Fly? What's in the works for you guys?
Well, yeah, good question, man. We've been developing some good partnerships with companies like Pop Menu, and a few others that Must Have Menus they actually Pop Menu introduced us to Must Have Menus. I mean, they're just they're the physical menu. They're a great company. They're out of Oregon, small group like us, simple tool, great customer service. So we've been, in our world, Eddie, there's tons of options now. There's been over $500 million invested in just to our space. There's so much restaurant technology. I mean, truly billions and billions invested in restaurant technology. I think there's probably 300 restaurant technology companies now that provide some sort of service. We're one, Pop Menu's one, Toast is one. Like, there's just so much. And so we can't compete with, people that have raised $100 million and have a sales team and a marketing team and a PR team and all this other stuff. But, for 16 years, we've just hung our hats on super simple and reliable software and legendary customer service. We want to, your whole industry is about providing great hospitality. And what is great hospitality? It's how do you make people feel when they interact with you? And we've learned from the industry we serve that, if we provide a good working, simple tool, and we take phenomenal care of people when they need something, when they call or they email, that never gets old, and that never goes out of style. And, so for 16 years, in a weird way, it's almost like Groundhog Day over here, that Bill Murray movie where he woke up every day and it was the same thing. Like, it is a lot of that, but that's great because 16 years in, I've got not 1 ounce of burnout. Love what we do. And dude, this podcast is, I spend, personally, there's 5 of us on the team here and we all have our roles. I spend a lot of my time now on this. We've got, Pop Menu's our sponsor now. We're bringing in a second sponsor. Our downloads are up 30% over last year. We're the 6th highest rated hospitality podcast in the world. We will hit our 500th episode probably by the end of this year. And this is a great opportunity for us to try to, just as you and all of your peers in hospitality so often are so great about giving back to the communities you serve and giving to charities and hosting events and doing all this stuff. We've always said, how do we give back to the people we serve, which is you and your peers and restaurant owners. And hopefully one of the ways we are able to do that is to, give a platform to people and share stories and help educate people and, share our customers' stories, and that so people can learn from others what's going on and what are people doing and how are they doing things. And I mean, you talking about Pop Menu right there, there'll probably be a lot of people that listen to this like, I need to check that out. That sounds like I need that, right? So our goal is really to always find ways to help educate people in an industry that is so incredibly fragmented. I mean, there's hundreds of thousands of independent restaurants out there, and y'all are all heads down, hustling around, getting places open, dealing with putting out fires, and it's hard to kind of take the time to see, like I've had so many restaurant owners that tell me, I just like listening to this podcast because sometimes it's almost like therapy, because I hear that other people are dealing with the same stuff I'm dealing with, or sometimes I'm like, am I not getting this right? Because I'm dealing with daily headaches and maybe I'm doing something wrong. And then I'll listen to somebody on the podcast and they're got the same issues I do. And, so in a weird way, it's, can help, but that is it. Like we love doing this so much. I mean, I love your industry, and I got to tell you, I couldn't do what you do. I admire what you do. I've learned through 16 years of talking to our customers, and we've written a couple of books about restaurant owners, and we've made a lot of films, and we've done this podcast, and I've learned that like I can't do it, but I'm like a fan. Like I'm a fan of the game, and I'm an admirer of people that are able to do what you do successfully. So I love speaking to those people and learning and sharing. And you mentioned something near the front of this conversation. It's like, all it takes is, it's like common sense and hard work, but like that's it at the highest level. Yes. But when you start breaking that down, man, like the skill sets you have to run a successful independent restaurant or a hospitality business and do it day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year successfully is like, you have to learn and know so much. And something changes or breaks, or there's a fire, literal or figurative fire to put out every single day. And like you just said, you're learning to read blueprints and you had to teach yourself. I mean, like the skill sets you have to master to get this right are like immense. And I believe, it's a more diverse set of skills than you need to really master in any industry. I mean, just the ability to keep your cool in the world you operate in is like an amazing, it's like a superhuman skill. And then there's 8,000 other things that you have to figure out how to be at least pretty good at, or find somebody else that's really good at it to be on your team. Hats off, man. I love it. I love doing, love serving folks like y'all.
No, it's definitely a grind, and it does. Yeah, I mean, I'm probably on the smaller end of my patience. I have a lot of it, and my wife might not agree with that statement, but but yeah, no, I mean, like just the amount. I mean, you do learn about yourself really quick and what you can tolerate and what you. But my thing is this: like I remember I was at Lux Bar in 2005, and old grumpy guy came in every day for lunch, every day. He tipped 15% every time, and he would complain about something every time, no matter what. That was his routine, right? And whether there's something wrong with him or not, I don't know. I'm not a therapist, but I remember he used to just the first week I was ever there, he made this girl cry. And so next day he came in, sat in her section. She's like freaking out, panicking. I was like, let me take him. And like somehow that guy started requesting me to be his server, but he'd still complain about something. But I would just would beat him up with kindness and just like stupid jokes. And like, I'm not going to let someone ruin my day. And you know what? As a patron, you shouldn't try to go in and ruin someone's day because they're working hard for you and whatnot. And I mean, I guess what I'm trying to get at is, you got to know how to read people. You got to realize, which another part of this business I love is that every table is a new slate. You can't let something bother you. And that's how I kind of treat life. Something just on to the next one, keep it going. And you're don't let it get to you. Shake it off, roll off your shoulder. Okay, let's go. Because the next table, this guy might tip you 15%. The next guy's gonna tip you 25. So you're back at 20%. Whatever. So there you go. I mean, like it's a law of averages, and another thing I learned is as a manager, never break down your salary into hourly. You're not gonna like it.
That's hilarious. Very true. Yeah, but all of y'all, man, you got it in you, and everybody else that does what you do well. There needs to be financial rewards, but there's more to it. You love what you do. You love the people you serve. You like taking care of people, and that's what hospitality is. It's just bringing people into your home and making them feel good and making them feel welcome. And there's a lot of reward that goes with that. I know.
No, definitely.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, look, dude, you got a lot going on. I'm truly appreciative that you took the time to go across the street, get on a hotel Wi-Fi, and make this happen. So I think, and thank you just for all the years of support. Thank you for sharing all that you did. This is an awesome conversation, man. I appreciate you.
This is fun. This is definitely fun. It nice and relaxing, get your mind off of things for an hour is nice every once in a while. So but yeah, man, I honestly love using your software. It's great. I mean, it makes my job easier. It makes, communication with staff easier. And I mean, I can go down the road and like everything I love about it, but everyone that's listening to this podcast already knows that's why they're listening. So I'm surprised. Waiting for someone to come and make you that $1 billion offer for your software. I'm sure that's coming.
Man, we love doing this, man. I mean, we really do. It's a great business. It's a fun business. It's a small team. It's a profitable business. We got a lot of years ahead of us, I hope, because I wouldn't know what else to do.
Well, hey, anytime you want to chat, let me know. And I appreciate you being flexible with me the last few days. I know it's been kind of crazy on my end, so I apologize.
Not at all, man. Not at all, man. I love, hey, man, I just love to do this. So again, I appreciate you taking it with all you have going on. It would have been easy to say, hey, dude, I don't have time for this right now. So I truly do appreciate that very much.
No, no, anytime. Where you at right now?
We're all in North Carolina. So we all work out of our houses. I live in a little town called Waxhaw, which is south of Charlotte. Tyler's up in Raleigh, and Charles, Hank, and Wes are down in Wilmington, and we all have home offices. And
nice.
We're all around. I mean, I'm 48. We're all in that general 40, late 40s to 50 age range. All have kids, and so it's a good, it's a good business for us. We're not venture backed. There's no private equity. We don't have some 80-hour weeks. Got to hit some growth goal to make our investors happy. It's just, if we can just wake up every day and our software's working and it's easy and we can be really responsive to our customers, then that's a win. So
perfect. Keep it simple, right?
Yes, sir.
Nice. Well, hey, this was fun. Like I said, anytime you want to do this, I'm down. So things will be slowing down here after the opening, and then we'll get back ramped up to the next project. So
always something, man. Well, good luck to you and to your team. Tell your partners, tell your team hello from all of us here. We thank y'all. We appreciate you. And we'll you know where I am if you need me, man.
Same. If you're ever in Chicago, come by. I'd love to show you the spots.
I will do it. I will do that for sure.
Don't let all the crime BS fool anybody. The city's still great.
No, it's great, man. I mean, my wife, she's mentioned a lot of times she's never been to Chicago, so it's on our radar, man. We'll make it happen, and I will definitely be calling you when we do.
All right, sounds good. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Eddie. All right, bye, man.
Bye.
Hey, y'all, before you sign out on this episode, a couple of quick things. Number one, if you listen to us on iTunes, if you could give us a star rating and a comment, it would help so much. Same thing if you're on Spotify, follow us, or any platform that you're on. If you would just do whatever their rating or follow options are. What that does is it tells the algorithms that this content is good and meaningful and valuable, and it'll tell them to put it in front of more people. So thank you for doing that. If you take the second to do that, that'd be so awesome. And also, if your restaurant is either using Excel or you're using some software that's expensive and has a lot of bells and whistles you don't need, or maybe doesn't have great customer service, we'd love to take care of you at ScheduleFly. Simple, easy restaurant employee scheduling software, legendary customer service, 30-day free trial, schedulefly.com. My cell phone number's on the trial sign-up page. Thank you for listening. See ya.